Hey guys, today's video is a product review overview of the Banana Wilco lineup of products. First off, we're going to talk about the Banana Wilco peels. Now, these are fast becoming some of my all-time favorite freeride wheels, and I'm going to tell you why. But I really do like everything about this wheel, from the branding. I love bananas. Bananas are an amazing fruit, maybe top 10, top 5, top 2 for me. Definitely up there with mangoes. But I really do like the branding. I like how simple everything is, simple color scheme, whatever. Everything plays off super nice. And personally, I don't really care that much about like branding and how nice a product looks, but this just really does it for me. Okay, let me break down the performance characteristics and features that make them appealing to me. Okay, so I'm sorry. So the first feature is how good they roll. Now, a lot of the hills here aren't all that steep. So when I'm doing free ride, it's actually not that much enjoyable because I'm not going all that fast. And then my slides end up being like kind of like a shorter distance. So it kind of sucks. But with these, the roll speed is really, really nice. With other freeride wheels, the roll speed isn't as nice or as good, so I don't really end up going all that fast. So I end up just going kind of slow and just kind of putting around. But with these, you do actually have like a nice, pretty fast top speed. So I'm able to go faster. I'm able to do bigger standees, and yeah, man, I can keep up with the boys on like bigger downhill wheels with these. So that's super nice and important to me. However, of course, if you do have super steep hills where you live or where you go skate, perhaps this characteristic isn't important to you. One more thing, it's also really nice when just cruising around. I tend to cruise around from spot to spot, and having just that much more roll speed makes my life easier. Skating other wheels, it feels like torture, but with this, it's a lot more manageable. So perhaps the reason you do get this nice roll speed is because of the core, how stiff that urethane is. It's 78A, but it's pretty stiff, and the wheel is actually very well supported. It's not as like flexible and as soft as something like Snakes or the 88 Wilco Vipers, but obviously those come in a much softer durometer. But yeah. The other performance characteristic that makes this wheel super good is how it slides. Now this wheel comes stone ground, which means that it doesn't have any skin. So if you're a beginner, that's kind of nice for you. But without stone grounding, it is a little bit slippier, and it takes a bit of one or two runs before you actually get past that stone grounding and actually get the real performance of this wheel. Now this wheel is actually one of the most consistent feeling freeride wheels that I've ever skated. It's super nice. The edge grip you get from this wheel when you're on that edge of traction and how it slides feel very similar and are very consistent, and this results in an extremely confidence inspiring ride, which is why with these wheels I feel very at home taking them fast, doing big stand-up slides, taking them on the open road, skating in a pack with other people, and it's super nice. There are very few wheels that I've skated that have that sort of consistent feeling where like it sort of breaks traction when you want it to. Come on. I don't want to say it slides when you want, it grips when you want, but come on. But it really does kind of do that. Obviously you have to put some effort in, but once you kind of kick it out, it will stay there and provide a lot of grip, and not a lot of grip. It will slide smoothly, providing appropriate feedback, knowing when letting you know when you're about to high side, maybe when you've slid over chanda or something like that. But it's so consistent, you put it sideways and it kind of just wants to stay there. That's why this is one of my favorite freeride wheels. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this wheel is how sort of forgiving it is. Even if you don't have like your weight placed perfectly, it's not going to buck you off like other wheels do, or you're not going to suddenly high side. This is really nice if you're a beginner, because you can sort of skate this wheel and it's not going to be too punishing. It is punishing if you do sort of make a big error, but you can kind of get away with small things. So it's really nice for beginners. And speaking of beginners, let's talk about how durable it is, how easy it is to flat spot. Now, I have lent my setup that had these on them to some of my friends who were just kind of learning to slide, and they did not flat spot this wheel. It's not super durable. Like I'd say it's 60% as durable as like a Snake, um, but like it's not gonna flat spot super easy. And with how you kind of instantly know when the wheel is sideways, unlike other wheels, it's really easy to keep this wheel under 90 degrees. So yeah, if you're a beginner, do try this wheel once you're done sort of getting to grips with learning how to slide, or if you want something a little bit more challenging, but still forgiving. One thing I didn't like about this wheel, but isn't really a problem, is the core. The core is actually super tight, so it's actually kind of annoying to sort of put in bearings and pull out bearings, so it does take quite a bit of effort. But yeah, I actually didn't dislike much else about this wheel, and I didn't pay for it. I got this for free from Banana Wheel Co. However, I would pay money for these wheels, and if I ever sort of climb out of this pit of poverty, I will 100% be buying a couple more sets. Hopefully they can do like a group discount or something like that. I don't imagine they're making too much money, but yeah. And I also hope they do come out with more variations with different durometers, maybe like a 81A that's going to be a little bit more durable or something like that. Another thing before I forget, these wheels do thane a little bit, but it depends on the type of pavement you have. I think out there, if you have like clean roads, you are going to see some thane, but personally I didn't always see thane, just once in a while. Now let's talk about the Banana Wheel Co. Milkshakes. I'm a big fan of milkshakes, the drink, but they do make me fat and I can't have too many of those anymore. But yeah, these wheels are supposed to be the Banana Wheel Co. version of dumpers, I think, at least from the media that I've seen. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, please correct me. They come 75 millimeters tall, 78 durometer, and I don't want to be a hater, but these wheels have actively tried to kill me twice. So before, I can already feel it glaring at me with murderous intent. Anyway, before I talk about that, let's actually talk about how the wheel performs. So for 65 millimeters and the type of urethane that's there, they're not particularly fast. They're not a bad wheel to have on a board, but like if you're trying to cruise around, the peels are going to be way faster. And I don't even think that's because of the 72 millimeter height. I just think that's because of the urethane. But if you have steep hills, these aren't bad. Compared to the peels, these do slide a lot more, but they're not as consistent as the peels. So the peels are super consistent at any speed. Like if you try sliding them 10 miles per hour or 40 miles per hour, you do get sort of the same feeling out of the slide. But with these, when you go faster, they are easier to slide, but as you sort of slow down and get closer to like 0 miles per hour, like they tend to get a little bit grippier, so they're not as confidence inspiring. But when you do take them really fast, when you do kind of get used to them, like they are pretty good. So the thing is, these things were supposed to dump, but as you guys know, when wheels arrive in Kenya, they get like super racist and they refuse to dump. So these wheels actually got super racist to me, like probably the most racist wheels that I've ever tried. They didn't thane for me and they tried to kill me. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get them and try them. It just means that I'm very unlucky. But yeah, so what happened is, like with the stone grounding, these wheels are super, super slippery. I haven't skated dumpers in a long time, so I tried to do like a toe side. I had sort of botched it, and then like as I was falling back on low siding, I reached out my hand to support myself. My puck caught in like a crack and my arm got pulled out of the socket. So yeah, I dislocated my shoulder. And then today when I was skating them, collecting some more footage, something similar almost happened. I fell, I put my hand down, and my pucks were rounded this time, mind you. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like my arm going, and I was like, oh fuck. And it was all happening in slow motion. It was very dramatic and I was very scared. I didn't want to do like another couple of weeks of physio. But yeah, man, I did sort of enjoy sliding on them, but not as much as I enjoyed the peels. I think I would have enjoyed them more if they did thane for me, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Just how things are down here in Kenya. But yeah, so yeah, that is the lineup. Thank you again, Banana Wheel Co, for sending me these wheels to review. I really like these. Maybe not my favorite, but I hope someone else who's had a different experience. I don't know, bro. I think if you had this thing in this shape, I'd like it more. But I am very fussy. So yeah, thanks again. I got these products literally December 24th, and I'm finally reviewing them 8 months later. But this, in all fairness, these wheels did try to kill me. And yeah, so you guys check these wheels out. They're more affordable than like your bigger brands, so that's nice. So yeah, packaging is good, environmentally friendly, great branding, small brand. I think it's just one guy doing everything. I have no idea if he has help, but yeah, support them, bro. Support them. They also do events, which is dope. So support them. Thanks for watching, guys.